Most men believe that the more they worry, the more control they have. They're wrong. Worrying isn't power, it's silent suffering in disguise. The ancient Stoics knew something powerful. When you learn to truly let go, life doesn't spiral into chaos. Instead, it starts flowing in ways you've never imagined. If you're tired of anxiety controlling your life, pay close attention. These 6 Stoic rules will change everything you think you know. Stoic rule number 1, clearly distinguish what's in your control. The Stoics believed worry comes from trying to control things beyond your power. When you confuse what's yours to handle with what's not, worry takes hold. The first rule is simple yet profound. Clearly distinguish between what's in your control and what's not. Think about it. How many times have you wasted sleepless nights worrying about a conversation you can't rewrite, a decision someone else has to make, or a future scenario that's impossible to predict? You replay the situation in your mind 1,000 different ways, as if thinking harder could somehow reshape reality. Here's the uncomfortable truth most men avoid facing. Your actions, your choices, your mindset, these belong entirely to you. You can shape them, guide them, master them. But the outcomes, the opinions of others, the unpredictable twists of fate, those were never yours to carry. Every time you stress about what someone else might think, every time you obsess over an outcome you can't guarantee, you're voluntarily giving away your power. You're placing your peace of mind in the hands of factors you never had any control over in the first place. Imagine carrying a heavy stone uphill, one you were never meant to lift. Your muscles strain, your back aches, your mind races with frustration and doubt. The Stoics say, simply put down the stone. Realize clearly what's not yours to bear. When you obsess over what isn't yours, your energy drains, your confidence fades, and you become trapped in an endless loop of anxiety. But the moment you fully grasp the boundary between your responsibility and the universe's uncertainty, worry loses its power over you. In that instant, you stop fighting against life and instead start aligning with it. Decisions become clearer, moments become lighter. You finally experience true strength, the calm certainty that comes from knowing exactly where your power lies. Remember, this isn't about giving up control. It's about finally taking control where it truly matters. And when you master this distinction, everything else in life begins to shift. Stoic rule number 2, embrace the present moment completely. Most men spend their lives trapped in 2 imaginary worlds, the regrets of yesterday and the anxieties of tomorrow. Stoicism teaches something radically different. Embrace the present moment completely. Ask yourself honestly, how much of your life have you missed because your mind was stuck somewhere else? Maybe you're physically there, but mentally, you're replaying yesterday's mistakes or rehearsing tomorrow's worries. You're at dinner with loved ones, but instead of enjoying their laughter, your mind drifts off to an uncertain future or a past you can't change. Here's the raw truth most men refuse to accept. Worry thrives when you're absent from your own life. It pulls you away from what's unfolding right in front of you. The conversations you're only half listening to, the opportunities passing unnoticed, the peaceful moments overshadowed by imagined chaos. When you learn to deliberately bring your full awareness back to this exact moment, something profound happens. Anxiety loses its oxygen because anxiety can't survive in presence. You're no longer fueling fear with imaginary scenarios. Instead, you become grounded, focused, and fully alive. The ancient Stoics didn't see presence as just some idealistic goal. They saw it as an essential survival skill, as necessary as breathing itself. Because the present moment isn't just all you have, it's the only place where your power actually exists. You can't act in the past, it's gone. You can't predict or control the future, it's uncertain. But right now, this exact moment is entirely yours. Here, your decisions matter. Here you can speak clearly, act decisively, and shape your reality. Here, you can finally reclaim your peace. Imagine living your life fully present, experiencing every interaction deeply, savoring every success genuinely, learning from setbacks immediately, instead of replaying them endlessly in your mind. Imagine the freedom, the clarity, the strength you'd find in such simplicity. When you truly embrace the present, life becomes clearer, calmer, and unexpectedly effortless. You're no longer just reacting to life. You're actively participating in it. This isn't just a philosophical idea. It's the gateway to a completely transformed life. Stoic rule number 3, practice voluntary discomfort. Most men build their entire lives around comfort, convinced that ease equals safety. But the Stoics recognized something deeply counterintuitive, yet powerfully life-changing: practice voluntary discomfort. Consider this honestly. What happens when comfort rules your decisions? You become fragile. Life becomes an endless battle of avoiding inconvenience. Even minor challenges feel overwhelming because your mind fears discomfort more than anything. This constant avoidance does something insidious. It shrinks your world. Opportunities vanish because they might require stepping into discomfort. Relationships weaken because uncomfortable conversations are avoided. Slowly but surely, your life contracts, ruled by silent fear and hidden anxiety. Now imagine deliberately choosing discomfort, even in small ways. Picture yourself stepping into an icy cold shower each morning, confronting the shock rather than avoiding it. Imagine choosing to occasionally fast, teaching your body it can survive mild hunger without panic. Visualize yourself speaking uncomfortable truths clearly and calmly, refusing to hide behind silence. Each voluntary act of discomfort might seem insignificant at first, but Stoicism reveals its hidden power. You're retraining your brain to trust your strength rather than fear your vulnerability. When you intentionally step into discomfort, you're sending a powerful message to yourself. I am stronger than my circumstances. I don't need comfort to be okay. I can thrive under pressure. Over time, these small acts compound into a powerful inner foundation. Life's uncertainties, challenges, or setbacks no longer terrify you because you've intentionally faced them countless times before. You've already proven to yourself that discomfort is something you can handle, not something you must desperately avoid. You stop fearing uncertainty because you've chosen uncertainty deliberately. You stop panicking when challenges arise because you've purposefully prepared for them. This isn't mere philosophy, it's practical strength training for your mind and character. The Stoics called this practice voluntary hardship and saw it as the most direct path to true confidence and inner freedom. When comfort no longer controls you, worry loses its leverage. You become unshakable, not because life became easier, but because you consciously made yourself stronger. That's the hidden Stoic secret behind voluntary discomfort. Temporary sacrifice today builds lasting peace and power tomorrow. And once you embrace this, your entire life begins shifting. Not because circumstances changed, but because you changed. Stoic rule number 4. Accept impermanence and change. Most men live with a dangerous illusion that stability is the norm and change is the exception. But the Stoics saw through this. They taught a truth many resist their entire lives. Accept impermanence and change, not as setbacks, but as the very nature of existence. Everything you hold today, your health, your relationships, your career, even your identity, is temporary. It will change, not because you're failing, but because change is the rule, not the interruption. And yet, most worry is born from fighting this truth. You cling to how things were. You panic over how they might change. You try to predict every twist, prepare for every loss, resist every shift, because somewhere inside, you still believe life should stay the same. But it never does, and it never will. The Stoics call this out with brutal clarity. They didn't sugarcoat it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, and say, and think." This wasn't morbid. It was liberating. Because once you accept impermanence, once you stop expecting stability in an unstable world, something powerful happens. Worry begins to dissolve. You stop gripping so tightly. You stop demanding guarantees. You begin to adapt. You begin to flow. And instead of breaking when things change, you bend, you pivot, you evolve. Look around. Nature itself is in a constant state of motion. Rivers change course. Trees shed their leaves. The seasons turn without resistance. The Stoics believed we should live the same way, not frozen in fear, but in rhythm with reality. When you accept change, you reclaim your energy. You stop wasting time trying to force life to stay the same, and you start learning how to navigate it with wisdom, clarity, and strength. Because peace doesn't come from holding everything still. It comes from mastering the art of movement, of letting go when it's time, and trusting yourself to adapt when the path shifts. This rule may be the most difficult to live by, but it's also the most freeing. And once you internalize it, you stop fearing what's next and start showing up for what's now. Stoic rule number 5, reframe adversity as fuel for growth. Adversity isn't the enemy. It's the training ground of your soul. The Stoics knew what most men today have forgotten. Life isn't supposed to be easy. It's supposed to shape you. You will be broken. You will be betrayed. You will fail publicly, privately, painfully. But these aren't signs that you're weak. They're invitations to become someone stronger. The Stoics didn't seek a life of pleasure or comfort. They sought one thing, virtue in motion. And that meant learning to meet life's chaos with inner stability, to take the punch and stay grounded, to lose everything and still not lose yourself. Every man suffers. That's not special. What separates the weak from the powerful is what you do with that suffering. You lose your job. Do you spiral into victimhood or use the silence to build something new? She leaves. Do you let it fracture your self-worth? Or do you sharpen your values and rise with more clarity than ever before? You're betrayed. Do you collapse into bitterness? Or does your code become even cleaner, even stronger? Every wound is a message. Every scar is a map. And every time life breaks you open, it's offering you a chance to rebuild deliberately. The Stoics believed that adversity is not just something to survive. It's the path to greatness. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This isn't motivational fluff. It's war-tested wisdom. And here's why it works. When you reframe adversity, you take back control. You shift the narrative. You no longer ask, why me? You ask, what now? You become immune to chaos, not because it disappears, but because your relationship to it changes. You start seeing pain, not as a punishment, but as a gift with sharp edges, a ruthless teacher designed to show you who you really are. You stop living in fear of hard times, because you know hard times reveal the man. This is the Stoic advantage. This is how you stop worrying about life breaking you. Because now, you know, you were built to endure it, sharpened by it, and elevated because of it. Stoic rule number 6. Trust the flow of life without needing to control it. Control is the ultimate illusion. The tighter you grip, the more life slips through your fingers, and the more you try to control the outcome of everything. People, situations, timing, the more anxious, restless, and depleted you become. The Stoics saw this clearly. They taught that true power doesn't come from forcing life. It comes from flowing with it, not passively, but consciously. Life isn't a machine that bends to your will. It's a river. It moves with or without your permission. When you try to dam it up, rigid, inflexible, obsessed with results, you end up drowning in resistance. But when you learn to trust its current, to swim with intention, but without obsession, something shifts. You begin to experience effort without tension, and motion without panic. This isn't surrender in the weak sense. It's strategic surrender. It's choosing to act wisely where you can, and release what you were never meant to hold. You still plan, you still strive, you still show up, but without the crippling fear of uncertainty. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." That's the Stoic rhythm. Show up, do your duty, let go. This mindset changes everything. A delayed opportunity doesn't spiral into self-doubt. A rejection doesn't fracture your identity. A change in plans doesn't send you into anxiety loops. Why? Because you've stopped demanding that life obey your script. You start making decisions from peace, not desperation. You move slower, but with sharper instinct. You stop reacting to every ripple and start listening to the deeper current. And here's the paradox. The moment you stop trying to control everything, you gain access to a strength control could never give you. Clarity, alignment, inner calm. When you stop needing certainty, you become unshakable. When you stop chasing outcomes, you start living with purpose. When you trust the flow, you finally experience what it means to let go and still rise. This is the final Stoic rule, the moment when you stop resisting life and start moving with it. Most men spend their entire lives trying to control everything, only to realize too late that what needed to change was them. You've just learned 6 Stoic rules that can untangle you from the grip of worry. But knowing them isn't enough. Now comes the test. When life pushes back, will you still let go? When the plan collapses, will you still trust the flow? And when the moment comes to act, without certainty, without control, will you still show up grounded, present, and calm? Because that's when life begins to flow. And that's when you begin to lead. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to our channel for more Stoic wisdom. See you in the next video.